Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. So we will be starting a new unit today, which will be the finite unit in ethics GS4, probity in governance. So in this lecture, we will be looking what is probity in governance, what is the meaning of probity, what are the different challenges in achieving the probity, and is what are the ways to promote property in governance. These are the only four topics which we will be dealing in today. So let's get into the lecture. So property in governance. So it is a necessary and fundamental prerequisite for an efficient and effective governing system and for socio-economic growth. The absence of corruption is a critical requirement for ensuring government property. So here actually property in governance means like it's a fundamental, it is very much needed, without which a governance cannot run. Governance cannot run efficiently, governance cannot run effectively, and it that property helps in the socio-economic growth. See, the absence of corruption is very important in this aspect. Like other needs might be effective laws, rules, and regulations which control all aspects of public life. Uh, but still, property is very much important. Now, what is that meaning actually? What all are involved in that? Like, it's a trait of possessing strong moral values and adhering to them rigidly, such as honesty, uprightness, transparency, and incorruptibility. It is commonly thought to be incorruptible. Property is the proven integrity. See, like honesty, impartiality, dedicated to public and selfless service, accountability, transparency, confidentiality, commitment to the constitutional principles, these values all bring the meaning to the property. Like it might be intangible like personal and communal ideals, but probity goes beyond the avoidance of dishonesty. It works for selfless dedication. It works for transparency in your service. It works for accountability in your service. It brings in honesty. It brings in integrity. These all bring in probity in your service. Now, what are the different challenges in achieving property in governance? Historical and social asymmetries of power in society. See, in India, as we all know, nearly 90% or at least 80% of the workforce are in the unorganized sector. The remaining the people who are in organized sector have job security, regular monthly wages, and are the employees of the state either directly or indirectly. But when it comes to unorganized sector, they don't have proper job security, they don't have regular wages. These all bring in asymmetry in the power of asymmetry in power in society. So that's something we should deal with. Erosion of values and institutions. See, gross perversion of the constitution and democratic institution, and accounting amounting to the willful violations of the oath of office, is so deeply entrenched to the system that most people regard corruption as inevitable and any effort to fight it as futile. See, many people think that corruption is deep into the system and it cannot be avoided at all, and any effort to fight that is futile or waste. Many people think that, which must their mindset must change. Culture of corruption ingrained in society. See, it is unfortunate, as we all know, it is unfortunate in our society that corruption for many has become a matter of habit. Like it's so deeply entrenched that corruption is these days is considered a social norm, whereas working properly, working sincerely is considered something indifferent. Right? Why is that corruption comes? Greed for illegitimate money, over centralization, or some few reasons for the culture of corruption. lack of transparency in the working institution. See, as I told earlier in the previous slides, transparency is a cornerstone in probity. The opaque environment in an organization, uh, the probity maintenance and the governance of the institutions becomes very, very difficult, because of which people get corrupted easily or have the uh, thing to ask for corruption. Lack of fair and effective implementation of laws. It is the implementation of the law that tests its effectiveness in addressing the problems to the ground. See, poor implementation of law makes even the greatest law ineffective. As we might think, whatever law you might give, whatever great law for corruption you bring, but if you are not implementing it properly, that great law becomes the waste law. So that's something, a challenge which we must tackle, which Indian society must tackle, which future civil servants must tackle for the benefit of society at large. Now, what are the different ways to promote probity in governance? Need, sorry, taking away the fruits of corruption. See, mere prosecution under the IPC or the Prevention of Corruption Act is not at all sufficient. Apart from that fact, such prosecutions are very rarely launched, and even when they are, the conviction is very much too rare. We might know that. The necessity for law providing for the confiscation of illegally acquired assets of public servants, unless the fruits of corruption are taken away, you would not be fighting the corruption only and effectively. See, the illegal acquired assets must be taken away. The fruit of what you worked for illegally must be taken away. Only then the fighting for corruption will work properly. Setting liabilities of civil servants. The principle on which liability can be placed on public servants must be very clear, and must also be a fair principle consistent with the need to act fearlessly, and must not be capable of comprehending bona fide actions, though may be concerned of civil servants. See, here what it comes to say is, a comprehensive law must be enacted to provide where the public civil servants cause loss to the state by their actions or omissions, and they should be liable to make good the loss caused by him to the state. In addition, they should also be open to imposition of exemplary damages. So the state must have proper, and they must be held accountable for their actions. Promoting transparency and accountability. The measures under the RTI Act should be implemented properly. Similarly, the provisions of the Citizens Charter can be institutionalized. See, when transparency and accountability come into play, the people who think they should get illegal money, they start getting fear, because you might be easily exposed and you might lose your job, you might lose your social status, you might lose your well-being, everything you might lose. So it's better that promotion of transparency and accountability are coming into place. The final point is empowering the civil service board. It will insulate civil servants from political interference in transfer and posting, thus promoting values like neutrality, partisanship, and impartiality. When a civil service board comes into play, politicians cannot interfere in your, the government cannot interfere in your transfer and posting. See, when the board transfers or does something about the transfer or promotion, posting, whatever it may be, it promotes the value of neutrality, non-partisanship, and impartiality. Whereas when some politicians get involved in your transfer, eventually, sometimes some impartiality might occur to do some favor, neutrality might not be there. So these things can be tackled. So this is for the introduction of today's lecture, guys. Hope you understood the property in governance, where we dealt with challenges and ways to promote the property in governance. So now in the next lectures we'll be dealing about other topics. So do watch the videos, like, share and subscribe the channel. Do comment any doubts if you have. Thank you.